It's what it can use, what your energy needs are, and whatever it can't use, harmlessly eliminates.
I can eat as much food as I want, whenever I want, and feel guilt-free about it, and I never gain a pound. I've actually lost weight since I went raw.
I've lost over 65 pounds in the last 3 years.
In the last year or so, I've lost 15 pounds, I guess.
I used to be kind of more straight. Like I always said I had like a little boy's body. I didn't have any curves or anything like that. And now that I eat the raw diet, I eat a lot more of medium chain fatty acids, which is what everyone needs to eat, like coconuts and nuts and avocados, things of that nature, which helps in my hormone regulation. And so I think that my body has become more feminine because I am getting more nourishment in the things that I need. So I kind of have a little more curve.
You seem to kind of just, your body kind of finds whatever is the right weight for you.
I feel that being healthy means a normal body weight. Normal depends upon each person. I just knew it would be a lot less than I weighed.
Logically, it seems to me that it's kind of a great way of eating if it's regulating your body to a norm, the way it should be.
Now we've seen the many physical benefits your body will enjoy once you go raw, but improving your body is just the beginning. Adhering to a raw food diet will also greatly improve your mind and your spirit. Let's talk again to Dr. DeAndrea about emotional and spiritual well-being.
Health is not just about food. The human body is physical, it's mental, emotional, it's spiritual, and every single doctor knows that. You go into a hospital and they want to give you medications for your physical body. You walk through the hospital and eventually you pass the psychiatrist's office, so you know that your doctor believes that there must be some kind of mental emotional component that contributes to illness. You continue walking through the hospital and eventually you're going to either see the church or maybe the synagogue inside the hospital to help you understand how your spirit affects your health as well. So that when you choose to change your diet or pursue health, always look to see if you're doing things that are helping you physically. Are there things that could be contributing to your health that are mental, emotional? Is there something spiritual about the path that you're on and how you're making choices for health? You always got to consider those three components.
Spiritual well-being is essential for total wellness.
When we don't follow our spiritual mission, we develop very unbearable, very hard, very painful feeling, the spiritual pain. You're sitting in your apartment, you had enough food, you have enough clothing, you have your job, you even watching comedy on the TV. Why are you not overly happy? Look, how many people take antidepressants and how many people commit suicide. So when people experience that spiritual pain, this feeling of emptiness, then they want to have a break. And then they go for different things. They begin to do gambling and shopping and play video games. They watch TV. They do lots of things. But the most accessible and the most easy thing to do is eating cooked food. For just 59 cents, anybody could have a burger through the drive window. And then the cooked food kind of makes us foggy, knocks us down a little bit, and gives us a little break. I think that's why raw food kind of makes people face where they are and what they're looking for and who they are and what is the main question of the life, why we're here and what we're supposed to do in our life.
If you believe that the purpose of our lives is to get closer to the Garden of Eden, then being raw is for you. Because when you eat raw, you are eating from the garden and you are truly living in paradise.
At risk of being like all hippy-dippy about it, but like I feel closer to the earth. Like I feel more in touch with the earth and being feminine now that I eat food that is alive and from the earth.
There's an electrical energy about our body that's here before the physical is here, and that spirit is more vibrant and more alive when we feed it life.
A person who studies the Kabbalah believes that if you can harness light, that you can become closer to God. Well, fruits and vegetables are fed by the sun, by light. So when you ingest that, you are ingesting light. You are harnessing that light and becoming more of a light being.
A person who is in the flow of the corporate offering, at the mercy of whatever's offered at the stupid market, has to deal with the karmic spiritual essence, the life that that plant, animal, entity had to endure. When it's eaten, that energy is taken on by the persona. It makes us who we are.
You're not eating food from a can that was put in there by a guy who hates his job and is a dead animal that was afraid and frightened and angry when it was killed. You're eating fresh, live fruits and vegetables.
Every time we go shopping or every time I buy food online or whatever, I totally do feel good. I do feel like politically and spiritually and economically it makes a difference in the world. Like I'm not perpetuating this gross, belching American way.
When you're fully embraced by foods that are digestible, raw foods, live foods, you have the ability to fully be compassionate with others and feel their pain.
I feel love. I feel love for every single person on this planet, and I think that's because I'm eating foods that have love in them and that don't have death and violence and destruction in them.
I realized when I had a child that I couldn't put anything with death associated with it in her, on her. I couldn't put leather shoes on her. I wouldn't put a leather belt around her, at least while she was a baby and so open and receptive to what things feel like. And I certainly wasn't going to put flesh that had stood in line with its brethren and waited to be slaughtered. I wasn't going to put that into her mouth either. And that made me realize that being a vegetarian is more about being polite. It's just not very polite to slaughter animals. And it's really not very polite probably to cut them up and give them to people to eat. It's just not very nice. So if I want my daughter to be a nice person, I can't really sit there and stick a steak in front of her.
Living foods takes away negative energies, helping you to be a more positive person, which will undoubtedly strengthen your personal relationships.
I have noticed that since I started eating raw, my relationships and friendships with the people that surround me have become quite different. For one thing, when I ate cooked food, I didn't really have the patience to really get to know people.
When I was eating a lot of cooked processed foods, I was kind of a moody person. I would get easily ticked off. I was emotional. I would react to things a lot. And since I've been eating raw, I feel that I just kind of let things move through me and I don't react to them. I don't get upset as often as I did.
I feel that from raw food, once again, I've gotten more energy and more openness, more spiritual because of it. I'm able to see now who people truly really are, and I look at them without judging. I just take what is and leave it at that. As a result of this, I've been able to get closer to people and make better friends and have closer bonds and connections with people around me.
You can't really make the separation between the stress that your body is going under and the stress that you're experiencing in your daily life and how you relate to other people. If your body is taking a lot of its energy to break down your food, you don't have that energy to put towards something called patience, which you have to show to your coworkers and your family and the people on the freeway. You have to put that energy towards breaking down your food, and that leaves people tired, it leaves them short-tempered, and it leaves them pretty bitter often about their lives.
Having a clear mind is an important part of total wellness.
I remember how I used to be and who I used to be, and it almost doesn't seem like me. When I was 9 years old, I was very bored with life. I'd watch 6 hours of TV every day. I always looked for entertainment. On raw food, I'm able to be with myself. I don't need others to make me happy.
By consuming raw food, I felt less cloudy. I felt more focused. My intellect was substantially different. I could remember things much more efficiently.
Eating raw has been like hugely enlightening.
The clarity that a raw lifestyle brings you is amazing.
Any healthy, lower on the food chain diet is going to be lighter on the mind, the body. The body and mind are one, okay? We clear the body with foods that are digestible so that our minds will follow. Our minds also instigate the purification of the body, because in order to choose what's best for the body, our minds are working overtime. Okay, should I have this? Should I have that?
Many people think that all they need is knowledge And I totally disagree with that. Knowledge is not power, and we don't need knowledge. We only need necessary knowledge kind of in the back of our mind. What we really truly need is clarity. That's what most of us don't have, because we have too much knowledge cluttering our brain. What is knowledge? Knowledge is not even information. Knowledge is distorted opinion of somebody else. For example, everybody needs to have 3 big meals a day. Everybody needs to drink milk. Everybody needs to do immunization. Fruits and vegetables have to be chemically processed by pesticides. Those are little pieces of distorted information that clutter our brain, and we are unable to see clearly what is going on. The key is in understanding how to understand the body. That's the clarity. I think that's the clarity that we need. We don't need the knowledge. We all have lots of knowledge. That doesn't change our life, doesn't make us healthier. When we have clarity, we could clearly see what we need to do, and that is a spiritual quality. So clarity brings us closer to happiness, and raw food definitely is pushing us towards clarity.
Although the road to spiritual well-being certainly begins at home, it also helps to be in tune with your environment and the community. Let's take a look at the profound environmental benefits we can all experience by committing to a raw foods lifestyle.
From an environmental standpoint, food has a tremendous impact, or what we choose to eat as a society has a tremendous impact on the environment. Certainly the way that we raise certain foods, from the agricultural sources in which we use tons of chemicals, pesticides, insecticides, herbicides, to the animal-based industry in which we're using tons of hormones, antibiotics, and lots of different chemicals to raise those animals. A lot of people decide to change their diet specifically for environmental reasons.
Fighting pollution ensures everyone a brighter future.
If you've ever felt the call to help our environment, becoming a raw foodist is almost the best thing you can do.
We as a species have the ability to shape the face of this planet.
Eating raw has made me think more about my impact. Like, you know, the Native American thing of if you think about how every action you take will affect the next 7 generations, you act differently.
When you eat raw foods, you're getting that food directly from the farmers. You can go to your farmer's market or your local co-op, and you can get that food fresh from a farmer.
You know, there's a lot of farmers out there that are willing to share their wealth of abundance. Sticker-free, bag-free.
When you eat raw, there's no waste. You're not eating plastic-covered food. Why do we have to get food that's wrapped in plastic, leaching harmful chemicals into our body? And it's destroying our environment by making huge landfills. It's wasting our natural resources.
Oil's running out. There are limited resources on this earth. The earth cannot support us at the rate we're going, and something catastrophic has to happen at some point, and we have to change.
Eating raw living foods is the solution to all the buzz about pollution and greenhouse and war. Look, 80% of our transportational energy needs goes towards moving stuff, most of which is food. So if you're gonna complain about war in Iraq, war in Afghanistan, plant the seed around your house.
We can all make an enormous impact globally. Plant a garden to feed yourself and to help alleviate world hunger.
So whatever happened to growing a garden around your house and throwing some seeds, let the rain fall on it, bringing the Garden of Eden at your back step, not a lawn, you know? Who wants to push a loud, smelly lawnmower?
Why are we clear-cutting rainforests to graze cattle for the meat consumption of Americans who consume 5 times more than anybody else in the world? And why are we feeding those cattle grains and vegetables that people could be eating?
Most people don't know that it takes approximately 16 pounds of grain to make 1 pound of animal. We could be feeding that 16 pounds of grain to human beings.
We can end world hunger right this second. Right this second, like done, over.
Every time you decide to have a meal that is plant-based over an 8-ounce steak, that loosens up enough resources to feed 7 other people on the planet.
The way that we get food is so sort of industrialized that people don't eat food anymore. Take away like the industrial mechanism of getting our food to us, and people don't know how to get it or how to eat when there is enough to go around.
The more you eat out of boxes and cans, the more you allow other people to prepare the food for you and tell you what to eat, the less choices you have and the less health.
So on one hand, you got this beautiful garden in your yard in the farmer's market that's growing the beautiful, precious cell vibrating, keeps the planet clean, keeps you young and vital, wakes you up in the morning, organic, drug-free, real food. Compared to, you go to the supermarket and they got all this slave food. It's just monocrop, one variety for miles. And that totally knocks out a biodiversity. Like there was once many varieties of plants and animals that grew where they now monocrop food for profit. It's all about profit.
I think we have to make choices as consumers, and by doing that, we change the face of things.
Supporting your neighbors both emotionally and economically ensures greater positive change in the future.
Why are we buying fruits and vegetables from other countries that are covered in chemicals when we can go to a farmer's market in our own local town and buy fresh picked mineral, vitamin-rich food?
It's important to buy produce from the farmer's market because you're supporting your local community and your local growers, helping them economically and helping them to survive growing organic produce.
It's really important in this era of large agribusiness that we support the farmers, the people who prepare raw foods, the people who provide the organic supplies.
It feels so good to support organic and raw, the organic and raw movement, but also to support people who are making a difference and people who are not only being good to the earth and good to the people that work for them and generally good, but it's amazing to kind of be a part of that community by supporting it.
It's life-giving. The more involved you get, the more involved they can give to you.
I love to go to farmers markets and I love to talk to the growers. I love to talk about their crop and how they're doing and thank them for growing the food for me and everybody in the community, and it's amazing. I love farmers markets.
And I feel like every purchase of raw organic food is kind of like this far-reaching great thing.
All you do is go look up on the internet farmer's market in your town and you can find where these are and what day it is, and it's a very aesthetic, pleasing, beautiful experience to buy your food this way. I love going to the farmer's market.
Some of you may not have the luxury of living somewhere where you have fresh farmers markets year-round. So take advantage of when you do have them.
Another reason I love going to the farmer's market is because of the seasonal fruits and vegetables. It's totally exciting to me to eat what is in season and abundant and beautiful and ready to eat.
If you go into any really nice restaurant, you're going to find that the chefs cook with what's in season, or they make foods with what's in season, because that's what our bodies are used to eating, and that's best for our bodies. When it's winter time, I use a lot of squash and root vegetables. When it's summertime, I use tons of fruits.
I'm so excited for summer and all the fruits and vegetables that are going to be in season.
A raw lifestyle will clearly put you on the road to optimum health. But these changes, like any other, should be made gradually and under the care of a qualified professional. Whether you're going 100% raw or just integrating more raw food into your diet, you have the opportunity to profoundly change your life. So give it a try today.
I guess in closing, the thing I would have to say is that food is good, and it should be an enjoyable, pleasurable experience. It should be fun. Go out there and explore. See what works for you. There are 6 billion different people on the planet. We all look different. We have different body shapes. We have different lives. It's probably going to turn out that there are actually 6 billion different diets, and you're probably going to have to learn how to become your own nutritionist. So just go and enjoy and have a good time with it.
I want to evangelize to everyone I see. I totally do. Like, go raw, just do it.
Eat raw and be alive.
I just don't ever want to go back. I don't think I am.
Let's free it up. It could be a party 24/7.
Think of what you have to gain, your health and your life, and what you have to lose. Wait, but don't wait. Start doing it now.
If I could say what I would wish people to do, I would put it in one sentence. Follow your heart, and you will do well.
It's as if like we all have the most fundamental, basic choice to make, like at every turn. And when your hand is forced, like you're forced, choose life or death. You know, like then it's obvious. Well, I'll choose to live, thank you. But that's what we're choosing every time we eat. We're totally choosing to live or die, to make the world a better place or to not, to make our world a better place or to not. I mean, I guess that's the message. Choose life, like choose to live fully. It may be the only chance we get to do this.